Welcome students to our course Competitiveness Module 8 for the 8th semester. So we are finishing the second cycle of our course. We will be ready for our second partial test. We are in week number 11 and the topic for today is we want to learn about the English cultures and traditions. So welcome to this class. We're going to talk about the goals and the objectives that we have for this class is provide you tools to increase the possibilities of entering the labor and business market. Knowing the culture of different countries, you will have the opportunity as a professional to make businesses. We want to learn about this English culture and also the English tradition and learn about the different cultures and society on the world and how the English culture is related. Okay, here we have the 4 quotes for this week. The first one was told by Gwynfor Evans that says, Britishness is a political synonym for Englishness, which extend English culture over the Scots, the Welsh and the Irish. Remember that the United Kingdom it's formed in these 3 countries, that is England, the Welsh, the Irish, and Scotland. English culture is highly literary based. Well, we're going to learn why today. Remember that culture is one of the 2 or 3 most complicated words in the English language. And of course, we have here the flag from England. Okay, we want to talk first about the British imperialists. While English culture, like the individual culture of other nations that make up the United Kingdom, is heavily influenced by its imperial past. Admittedly, this is not a great part of the British and European history, but does form the basis for many cultural elements you'll come across in England today. At the height of this power in the early 19th century, the British Empire stretched across the globe. During its reign, it controlled large parts of Africa, India, Australia, New Zealand, Polynesia, Canada, and the Caribbean. Imagine all this part. Also here in Guatemala, we have the Belize area that belongs to the British imperialism also. The wealth, but also the conflict that the British Empire has shaped England as they know it today. This impact is seen across language, cuisine, architecture, and the arts. Well, the British Empire is one of the direct causes of the English language being on the most widely spoken language in the world. So this is where the English come from England. It should be enrolled that the English also borrowed words from the nation that colonized, such as word bungalow and pyjama, for example, from India, tea from China, hammock from the Caribbean. Modern English is of course shaped by various other groups and languages to arrive on this island, including Old Norse, thanks to the Vikings, and also in France, thanks to the Normans. The rise of British Empire also meant eliminating the middleman in regard to trade, allowing more cash flow and import goods to come into and through England, meaning that it's a small, isolated island was suddenly the center of the world. Imagine that, it's just an island, but was the center of the world. Through new shipping routes and colonies, Portugal had now shifted from the east to the west. Okay, we want to know about this culture, about the tea drinking. One of the most evident remnants of the British Empire on English culture is tea. Well, being English has almost become synonymous of tea drinking, and it's an understanding to say that the English feel rather strongly about its done. Aside from the obvious differentiations of type and blend, some prefer it strong, others weak, the same like coffee. Some like it with sugar and milk, or just sugar or just milk. Lemon and honey are also popular, but continuous addition, so you can add all these ingredients to your tea. Although tea first came to England in the 17th century, it wasn't popularized till the late 18th century. It was first marketed as a medicinal drink and sold for its restorative qualities. It soon became the most fashionable beverage of choice, almost in aristocracy and the upper class, especially as sugar was also a luxury commodity at that time. Drinking tea with sugar was the ultimate show of wealth. Imagine that. Over time, drinking tea became a status symbol, increasing its demands amongst the middle classes as the British Empire controlled everything from tea production to importation. The government heavily encouraged tea drinking over the consumption like chocolate, coffee products from neighbor empires. So this meant that drinking tea was branded a patriotic and very English thing to do. By then, both tea and sugar were cheap, and it became the ultimate working class beverage at both Merseyside laboratories as well as were warm in less than idea that were conditions. So did you know that tea was so important for the British Empire? Well, now you know. We're going to talk now about the dialects and accents that are in England. Also, English may be dominant language in England. That doesn't guarantee that you will understand who you're talking to. English is famous for its vast array of characteristic regional accents and dialects. So depends the area where you are living in England, well, you're going to hear the English in a different type of accents. It's like here in our country. For example, if somebody from, let's say, from the western part of our country and you listen to talk to somebody from the eastern part of the country, you will see that the pronunciation, the accent, it's different. Their existence is owed to the country's rich past of invasion and colonization. Colony, Scots and Yorkshire accents may be the strongest and most reconcilable, but there are over 30 different recognized dialects across the country. So we have this English in different accents and also 30 different dialects across the country in England. Okay, we want to talk a little bit about the English food. When one thinks of English cuisine, fish and chips will probably be in front of mind. Also, this nation state is underneath delicious. There is a lot more you should try when visit England. The climate and location mean that it has a rich and variety of natural food. Expect fresh seasonal produce, seafood, meats, and a variety of dairy products also. The cuisine is also heavily influenced by England's colonial past. And arguably you could get a more English dish than a tikka masala if you are after a more traditional English food experience. Be sure to try the food that I'm going to mention right now. We have in first place the fish and chips. In second part, the Sunday roast. We have a full English breakfast here, so you can see here how the English are eating right now. And here we have some history about these plates that I'm going to share with you. Like the English Aristotle believes that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, so that's why they eat a lot for breakfast. And here we have another foods that are really famous in England, like the bungor and mash, the English curry. This is so delicious. Of course, the tea, but they put cream in the tea. We have this another type of food, like looks like pancakes, called crumpets. Also, we have this cake that is made with mint. It's called Kendal mint cake that is so famous in England. And this dessert that is called trifle. We have in here, we want to talk about also the distilling and brewing, because England is one of the countries that drink more beer in the world. So this by here in countries time separately, they may never have clicked that pubs is actually short for public house. So all these pubs in downtown is a concept of a lot of taverns and alley houses arrive with the Romans and evolve from there. Going to the pub is a very British pastime, so it's a British culture just to drink a beer in a place where you can talk with your friends, talk with your family, and just have a drink and enjoy a meal. The English pubs are different from bars you'll find elsewhere. Don't expect fancy like cocktails and just going to have beers from the city where you are. with a group of people just talking, and there's big groups also in the pubs that are on the streets. So any stranger may can go to the group and talk. So every stranger is welcome to go in these pubs. And also for Christmas Day, everybody goes to the pub and they just talk. And here we have this beer so famous, and they start with the beer. Also they have these great taste ciders and pims. We're going to talk also about the English castles and country houses. Is there one thing that the English have a lot? There are castles. All in the country states, we display the manor houses, all these beautiful places that probably we can see in some of the movies. But they have like country houses. There are like 800 medieval castles and over 1,500 country houses. Many are open to the public, so check out visiting. When you go, you can check this part and let your imagination run. Imagining all these women in these gorgeous dresses and all these gentlemen in horses. And here we have some examples of castles. We have the Boream castles in Sussex, the Bangor in Northumberland, the Lower Castle in Cumbria, the Highclere Castle in Hampshire, the Linsford in Northumberland, and Skipton Castle in Yorkshire. Okay, we want to talk about the music. Remember that we have the Beatles here, also a lot of rock bands that we have are coming from England. I love this music, and I know that some of you are going to love all the groups that I'm going to mention. England has a vibrant and diverse music sense that goes back through centuries. Currently, the British music industry is one of the largest in the world. It has produced many award-winning artists that have impacted music around the world. England became a leader in pop and rock music since the 1960s, which is often referred as a British invasion, especially in America, in the United States. Successful English artists of time include the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, The Who, Led Zeppelin. All these bands were inspired by rebellious American rock, but gave it a classic British first. The following decades also, British produced notable artists like the Bee Gees, Queen, of course, The Police, David Bowie, Duran Duran, Madness, Radiohead, The Specialists, Blur, Genesis, Robbie Williams, and the icon, the Spice Girls. Do you remember those girls? Well, English music has continued flourishing in the 21st century. The last 2 decades saw the rise of artists like Amy Winehouse, Franz Ferdinand, Adele also, Stormy and Florence, and also The Machine. So you can tell me when I love the 80s, so all these bands, I just love this type of music, and I know that some of you these days, you still listen in that music. That's why England has this leadership in pop and rock since 1960 to today. Okay, and now we want to talk about the royal family. Remember that we have a queen, a king, princesses in all the British royal family have become the main tourist attraction for people visiting England. Visitor attraction feel to the royal family, see the royal related merchandise, out performers, the type of memorabilia, and all those things that comes from the royal family. Sometimes probably we have some scandalous ghosts. You remember about the Princess Diana that, and all that happened in these stories, and also the Queen Victoria that is still living, and you see all these that go around of the royal family. You, like many others, enjoyed a bit of going at the royal way of life. There are many places in England worth a visit, other than in London attraction, or like a Buckingham Place in where they live, the Kensington Palace, and the Tower of London. Well, the English countryside is peppered with places to visit where a field tied to the royal family. And in here you can see all these persons that are part of the royal family. And the last part of the class, we want to talk about the top 5 sports in United Kingdom. Well, the football is the number 1, is the most popular game in United Kingdom and follows a traditional league system which consists of more than 100 teams. Imagine that, more than 100 teams. The most popular league is at the Premier League and consists of the 20 best teams from all over the United Kingdom. The most popular of these are the Manchester United, the Liverpool, the Arsenal. So I know that the guys are going to get excited just listening those names of those teams. But the football in the United Kingdom is governed by the Football Association, which is one of the oldest overcoming bodies in the entire world. The two famous football championship in the United Kingdom are the FA Cup and the Capital One Cup. There are got a professional football clubs that participate in each of these tournaments each year. And remember that the famous teams are the Manchester United, the Liverpool, and the Arsenal. Well, now we're going to talk about the cricket. Well, the cricket is the national sport of United Kingdom and also became popular in the 17th century. Today are 18 professional country clubs in England, with all them being named after historic countries. Each summer they have all these tournaments where the clubs participate. And in the first class country championship, we consist of 2 leagues of 9 teams in which matches are played. So here we have 2. We're going to learn about the last 3 that we're going to learn today. In the third place, we have the rugby. Well, rugby is one of the most popular professional and recreation team sport in United Kingdom and is divided into rugby union and the rugby league. So there are 2 leagues of rugby in England. Also, in here, you will see that this is hard to play, but they are a professional way. Also, we have here the badminton. So it's the most popular racket sport in United Kingdom, and history continues to grow in popularity, and they have the Badminton Association of England since 1893. And of course, the tennis that is growing not only a participant sport, but also as a spectacle sport like the Wimbledon that is most the popular tournament around the world. And here we have the questions to study, so please answer this question and be prepared for our second partial test. Thank you so much for your attention.